Okay, hello. I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday, I think. Today I wanted to draw some stuff and I wanted to brainstorm some ideas for this zine that I wanted to put out soon. I wanted to give myself a self-imposed time limit, then I realized that I should maybe chill and relax the fuck out, and not do that when I just recover from a sickness. But I'm feeling pretty good today, other than a bit of a sore throat. But oh my god, yeah, that's more than a bit of a sore throat. But holy shit, I'm basically an old man, as it turns out. So I am going to show a bunch of the images that I have been working on instead of showing my big old dumb face. If I can find them. Is this the PSD file? Let me try to find it. I think it's this one. Yeah, it should be this one. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me switch over. Okay, this Clip Studio Paint. No music today. Maybe I should play some music. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna turn off the currently playing section there because I don't think we're gonna have any music today. It's just gonna be me and my luscious voice. Yeah, so today we're going to be drawing up a bunch of ideas. I wasn't sure if I should keep this gray. I didn't want to blow anybody's eyes out, so maybe a bit lighter of a gray will work. Let me try to adjust my mic so that you can still hear me, but it's not like in the way of my hand as I'm doing this huge sweeping lines. I should probably explain what the iron rod even is. So the iron rod was initially a project that I was doing, which was like a bunch of Troika classes. I have them in a file somewhere. I'll open that up. But I was like, recently I found out, and by recently I mean like last night, I found out that I work very well with visual brainstorming. As it turns out, I'm a very visual person. So I was doing a lot of just sketching, and I was getting a lot of ideas from it, you know what I mean? So, I was thinking we could do the same thing. We could like draw a bunch of stuff out, figure some stuff out, kind of just write notes, and we could do that for either several of the classes or like the world at large, or like, a lot of ways we could go about it, or we could just draw the existing classes that we already have like figured out. So if you're not familiar with Troika, you kind of roll a d66 and then you can get a random class. So the iron rod is this world where there's the iron rod, which is kind of like a plague, and there's a lot of different classes. There's like the rod sponge, which is like after the incident, the iron rod does not kill you, and you can even absorb it from other people. So you've taken up the mission of purification, blotting out filth with flesh. So we could draw some of that stuff. We can draw the hallucinogenic knight, or the chain collector, or the pustule face, or oh my god, what's wrong with my fucking? What is wrong with my throat today? As soon as I say I'm not sick, as it turns out, I'm actually sick. Or we can be a wire doppelganger. Be a wire doppelganger? No, we can draw out a wire doppelganger. We can draw out a lot of different things. So I'm kind of spoiled for choice because we already figured out a bunch of the classes ahead of time. So we already have a general idea of the world, and actually we've already drawn some of the classes before. I'll show the Devoured Puppeteer right now. This is the Devoured Puppeteer. Basically, someone who controls a wire-barbed dragon from the inside by pulling on strings. We also have some images of the rod sponge. This one was not my favorite. It's not that good, to be honest. What else do we got? I'm sure we have some other ones as well. Do we? Did I only draw those? I'm pretty sure I drew some other ones. Oh yeah, there's a Traumaturgist. Ooh. Yeah, that's not very good either. We could just redraw them. So I've been actually doing some additional drawing. I was like, what happens when the iron rod actually hits you? What do you look like? That could be the wire doppelganger actually. Then we have like the prodigy, which is a class that we came up with the last time. We have, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I was thinking we could just like continue sketching and yeah, just keep on going from here. I'm gonna copy these into here. There we go. So we have a bunch on different layers. Okay, cool. I'm gonna number this just so I don't lose track. I don't normally number my layers in case you were wondering. I'm just doing it this time to keep organized. So, this one I was just doing some kind of plague doctor thing, but I think we could go with like several of the other ones. Like the traumaturgist, I think might be an interesting one to kind of try to figure out. Or we could go for a completely new class, like the carver of tiny statues or the barbed armature. Actually, I'm just gonna roll it. I'm just gonna roll it because I have it on the D66 table. So I'm just gonna roll it. Whatever it turns up, we'll just like use that. I'm actually gonna switch my screens to show like what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this right now. This is the iron rod overview. This is the classes that we've done. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll it up. I have my dice right here. So I'm just gonna roll it, and I got a 63, which is the bone scribe. Oh, I like that. Okay, we can go with bone scribe. So the one that we're doing today is the bone scribe. And we'll be trying to figure this out through drawing. Like, let's try to go for 2, maybe. So I think bone scribe is the first one that we're gonna try to go for. So I'm gonna switch over screens to Clip Studio Paint. There we go. So bone scribe, I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm just gonna call it bone scribe, and I'm gonna do 3. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna doodle stuff out and try to figure it out as we go along. I find that for ideation, having a very small brush helps. With a little bit of like wiggle room for like pressure, so like I can make it a bit larger, but not too much. I think that really helps me like not worry too much about the line weight and all the other stuff. Just try to get some cool ideas out. So bone scribe, right? I'm immediately imagining like something where there's some kind of like prongs holding open some kind of flesh. Something like that, maybe. Like, there's some kind of like prongs holding open this flesh. So maybe there's like some kind of mechanism here. And like some of these drawings will not be anywhere. Like they won't, it's not like they will be in a book or anything. But and I find that like it's a good way to get my mind going and like try and figure out how some of this stuff works. So this like the bones, this will be the flesh. This is getting a bit gross, but you get the idea. Let's say that this is like I don't know, anatomy. Say like this is tibia or something. Is tibia for the arm or leg? Man, I'm completely making this up. But yeah, let's say like there's like kind of like 2 bones there, and you're the guy inscribes on it using a specific kind of device. So I should write this out. We're thinking about how like we're gonna write out the bone scribe today. The bone scribe. That's 63. Right. So inscription on bones. What kind of tool do they essentially use to inscribe on the bones? I'm thinking like engraving tools, right? Like you know, like little engraving tools that they might use to carve away at these bones. Maybe they have something a bit more high-tech. I'm not sure. But I think like carving tools will be... Oh, that's nasty. Like one with like a hook. That's disgusting. Something like that, right? These can be, you know, like used for holding it open. Okay, so something like that, where you then have to inscribe on like this kind of like bone structure here. So I'm just gonna show that the flesh goes out that way, kind of like comes back into here. Okay. They do have to like separate the muscle for that to hurt though. So I'm gonna say that obviously it's an extremely painful process. Maybe they need some kind of like numbing agent to do this, and then they have to stitch the muscles back together on top of that. So the muscles are kind of like coming out here, I think. Yeah, like that, maybe. And like basically they're trying to figure out how to inscribe something on it. What will they be inscribing on it, basically? And will they be doing this on live? So there's a few questions I have about a bone scribe. Will they be doing it on live subjects? I'm thinking that will be more interesting. So that's what I've been drawing. So I think I'm gonna go with that as an initial kind of like impetus kind of thing. So I'm assuming that they're doing it on live subjects. Are they doing it on humans? Maybe they're doing it on humans. So they're using engraving tools. So I'm gonna say that these are engraving tools. Tools. Like that. There we go. And they're basically like holding open this area here. And I'll do a bit of that to show. That's a bit disgusting, but you know. We're doing a bone scribe. It's gonna the world is called the iron rod, so it's gonna be disgusting. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we have like some bone here that they can basically engrave into. What do they engrave? Like and why do they engrave it? So what and why? So engraving tools. The first obvious answer is like some kind of magical element to it, right? The second obvious answer is maybe some kind of cultural significance. But I think I like the idea of it giving the user some kind of like power. Magical power or physical power. So engraving equals power. And then is it magic? Question mark. Is it physical? I'm not sure yet. That's what I have like kind of figured out. Maybe like this could be a hand. Like let's say like this comes out into a hand. It's probably not anywhere near anatomically correct in terms of the bone structure and stuff, but you know, whatever. It's fine. We're just coming out with ideas, right? And like I said, a lot of this stuff won't be in any book or anything. It's just for me to kind of figure it out. Okay. Just do it like that. Okay. So something like this, where they have like some kind of, or do they? Oh, I like this. I like this. They do it to themselves. Okay. Self engraving. So self engraving for the most part. I like the idea that they are doing self engraving for the most part. Yeah, that's cool. So like they do self engraving and it gives them some kind of magical power that stays with them permanently. Okay. Is it in some kind of like language that's like not English? Essentially, I'm thinking something like some kind of like symbolic language. So I think something like something like that. Just making stuff up, but something like that, like carved into the bone, right? So like that. Something like that, yeah. Something like that where they... Maybe it's not just self-engraving, but like they do it as a service as well, but most people cannot stand the pain of like having stuff engraved into their bones. I do like that idea, like it requires somebody of incredible mental fortitude, or we could just say that they have some kind of like numbing potion, or like some kind of way to keep... Yeah, maybe the scroll only works if like you're conscious during it. Yeah, I'm getting so many ideas just from like doing this visually, so that's why I wanted to try today. I wanted to see whether like doing this kind of stuff visually, because like a lot of the time I will write it out, and writing it out for me doesn't really conjure up the same imagery a lot of the time, you know? So thinking... Man, that's a small bone. But yeah, like this will basically be found on like this kind of bone will be found on the like the corpses of like these bone scribes. So maybe they used to ply their trade on royalty. Yeah, like royalty. Used to engrave royalty. Question mark that. Used to engrave royalty, and they will give them magical powers, or insane luck or something. The question still stands, like what kind of power do you get from having your bones engraved? I think it has to be something to do with the limb. Yeah, so I'm gonna go physical. So something to do with the limb. Like once you engrave into the limb, it becomes it strengthens the bonds around it or something, or it allows you to cast magic with that limb. Yeah, I like that. Cast magic with limb. So it's like not really physical. It's more like it's a bit of both. So it's like cast magic with that limb that you inscribed into. I like that idea. So yeah, that might be one way to basically like be able to learn magic without like having to go through years of study. Hello, Hugo. Hello. I'm trying out like some kind of visual brainstorming stuff, Hugo. Also, I should probably like crop the screen so that you guys can see easier. Let me try to do that. Can I do it like this? Yeah, let's do it like that. And let me just like try to fit it all into the screen. Yo! Hello, Caustic. Hello, Hugo. I am doing some I am trying to fit this to the screen. There we go. Okay. I'm doing some visual brainstorming, and I basically am trying, there you go, to figure out like the iron rod classes, but by drawing them out. So I won't necessarily use these images anywhere, but I find that like visual brainstorming, I've been experimenting with it recently. By recently I mean like last night. I was just like trying to draw out my ideas, and I was like, wow, this actually gives me so many cool little ideas to go off of. As you can see, look at that. Look at all that stuff. So yeah, I was like, man, I should just do that. Oh, whoops. Let me lock the background. I was like, I should just do that, but have it be so that like I can do it on stream and see whether like I'm able to be coherent while I'm doing it. Cause I feel a lot better today. I feel like a lot more coherent and articulate. That will probably go away in a few minutes. But for now, I feel pretty good. Not bad. So I'm trying to figure out the bone scribe. This is the class that we rolled up. And I'm thinking like they do self engraving and they used to engrave royalty, but that maybe has fallen out of practice. And that engraving is power, right? So it allows you to cast magic with that limb. Um, and there's engraving tools and such. And these are like maybe, yeah, I'll say like maybe these are like passed down from generation to generation. Like that. Passed down. I like the idea of engraving on skull and teeth as well. But it's a lot more painful. So yeah, so let's like do like let's like draw a little skull there. I like the idea of that as well. Like whatever thing you draw on, it essentially allows you to cast magic with that thing, right? So the most powerful like magicians essentially have maybe like a lot of inscriptions on them. It's one way to learn magic, but it's not the only way. Like you can still spend like decades of study, but it's kind of like a shortcut almost. It's like kind of a shortcut to learning magic. It's a very painful way of doing it. I'm gonna say that you can't do it while under anesthesia for some reason. So like you have to endure the pain, but it allows you to skip past a lot of that study. It also like because you have like these permanent wounds, it does mean you're kind of like viewed as some kind of freak. I think like there should be a cost associated with, other than just the pain of it. So there's like some engraving on the skull, and yep. So there should be like some kind of like cost to it, right? So there's like gonna be a huge stitch, obviously, in your hand after you're done. So like this will essentially after it's healed up, right? I'm assuming like once it's like maybe they cauterize it. Yeah, they cauterize the wound. So like it's like kind of like that. And they kind of like cauterize this wound. Maybe the pain is part of the learning. No pain, no gain. Yeah, I think something like that it makes sense. Where it's like maybe that's the only way to learn magic naturally in this setting. Because so far we haven't really talked about people who don't have magic just from birth. But this is a way of doing it without having been born with that. So I like the idea that they used to engrave royalty who did have magic, which like augmented their magic, but some of them decided to stop engraving royalty and decided to use it to help the common folk and also to give powers to people who did not already have magical blood. So yeah, I like that idea as well. Where it's like, okay, it's being used as a source of like kind of fucked up what's the democratization of like magic powers? Like you don't have to be born with it, right? Is that the correct word for that? Probably not. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So let me just do this. Okay, okay, there we go. Okay. Right, that is a fucked up fist, but you get the idea. Maybe yeah. You know what? I drew this fist all fucked up, but maybe it even like bulks out the, because it's such a painful process, right? It probably bulks out the muscle regions around the wrist as well. Like it becomes incredibly malformed. But I love this so much. Like this feels to me like I'm really getting into the mindset of like, does this actually work? So I'm actually like drawing it out, and I'm actually thinking about it as I'm going. I kind of wanted to do this as an experiment today to see whether this kind of like visual brainstorming works for me. And I mean, so far it is. I mean, I just started, but I'm getting a lot of ideas that I wouldn't normally get otherwise. So I kind of like that. So skull engraving. What will the person's like face look like after that? I don't even want to think about it. But like, what will the person's face look like after they've been engraved in the skull? That's an interesting question. Like maybe they have to wear a mask. Okay, maybe I'm also going into too much detail on like this one class, but I kind of like that we're kind of getting into it. Hello, Takuya. Hello. Finally, I catch up with your live stream. I like your delving deep and white box videos. Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, today we're trying out something new where I'm basically world building using just visual brainstorming. So I'm just drawing out like how will a bone scribe work? Somebody who makes it so that you can cast magic using a limb that they engrave into you, or if they engrave into your face, which is extremely painful. That allows you to cast magic with your eyes or with your mouth or whatever. Maybe on like teeth, right? Teeth. I think was suggested by Caustic that teeth may have an engraving on them. So maybe like we'll have a bunch of teeth here. And like maybe there's like some runes being drawn out. Teeth. That. And these allow you to cast spells with like just speaking, right? Like that. Cool. Okay, yeah, I like that. So this is like stuff for like casting spells with speaking or like staring. So magic via staring and magic via speech. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. By the way, what inspired this was like this YouTube channel called Monster Garden. And he does the same thing where he does like visual brainstorming. Actually, now that I think about it, he did something similar to what we're doing right now. I think. I think I've seen a thumbnail where he did something similar. But I don't know if it's the same idea. It's just I think I've seen like him like doing this kind of thing before. It's fun, yeah, it is fun. I actually normally brainstorm like with, with words. But actually this is giving me a lot more ideas than I would get otherwise. So, and it's a lot more interesting for you guys to watch, I think. Okay, so magic via speech, used to engrave royalty. So I like this idea of a bone scribe who does this kind of stuff, and as a rite of passage, right? They have to engrave their own so rite of passage, they have to engrave their own like hands, essentially. So let me like do a quick sketch of like somebody doing that on their own hands, essentially. And maybe they have to like grit their teeth or something in order for the pain to not be like unbearable. Like they have to do something, or they have to just bear with the pain, like that. That's not good perspective. I'm actually gonna draw. It's gonna be like that. Okay, there you go. Gonna be like that, and then the. Okay. There you go. Okay. Something like this. where he's kind of like opening up his arm here. And he's kind of like engraving into his own arm, which I'm trying to figure out how to draw that. So like there's this here, kind of like a perspective shot of him kind of engraving into his own arm. Yeah, something like this, I think. I've also been trying to get better in general at doing these kind of like anatomy and perspective quick sketches, because I find that nowadays, I for those of you who don't know, I do art commissions for a living now. I used to do programming and stuff for a living, but I've since switched. So I want to get better at a lot of like artistic skills that I have not been practicing as much, and this is part of that as well. Just like doing a lot of these kind of sketches to kind of figure out ideas. It's also a good way of practicing. It's a good way of practicing a lot of my fundamentals, I guess. So let's do that. Okay. And that's opened up there. Okay, there you go. I think we can fill that in. No, actually, let's just like leave it like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm figuring like if you're doing this on yourself, you have to have some sort of anesthesia. So, I'm trying to figure out if I like the idea of no pain no gain, like Caustic said, but you'll pass out from this. So maybe there's like a potion that you drink to not pass out, but you still feel the pain. Yeah, I kind of like that. Something like this. Local anesthesia. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this it might work. Like something they apply on that area. It might work. Yeah. Let's give him some hair. Why not? I think like I draw too many bald people. Let's give him some hair. This is just a normal dude operating on himself. Okay, there you go. Make him look a bit more like actually in pain. There you go. Okay, so yeah, local anesthesia. So I'm trying to think about how we can actually figure that part out. Do we even need to like draw that part? I think that part is like quite self-explanatory. Hmm. Wait. How is he holding that that engraving tool? He doesn't seem to be holding it very steadily. Kind of worried for this guy. Let's do it like that. Yeah, there you go. Whoops. Doesn't seem to be holding it very well. It's fine. Whatever. You get the idea. Actually, no. I'm gonna try to draw it a bit more realistically. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's good enough. You kind of can get the idea of how he's holding it. Oh, I think it's because it needs to be like tilted at an angle. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see if that works from the flip side. Yep, it does. Okay, cool. Okay, and I think like maybe there's like stuff to like kind of hold this in place. Yeah, I think like maybe maybe like just twine. Like yeah, stuff like that. It's just like holding the flesh in place there. Like that. Okay, cool. Alright, I think we have enough ideas for the Bone Scribe. We don't need to know what kind of magic they can cast, because I think we're just going to say that it's yeah, we're just gonna say that the magic that they can cast is dependent on what runes are written. So it can be any kind of magic, but it's basically a shortcut to magic. Ish. And if you already are a magician, it will augment your magic. So augmented magic slash shortcut. Bracket painful. I hope I'll understand what I mean by this when I look back on it. But yeah, that's our first class foray. That's pretty cool. I think. Are there any ideas that you guys can think of for the Bone Scribe other than this, or should we like move on to another one? Oh man, that is cool. Like that. Maybe like we could do like a big engraving like right down. Yeah. I don't even want to know what their face looks like after all that's been done to them. Or as a must, otherwise you'll bleed to death. Yeah. So that'll be it here. Oh yeah, we should put some blood. You know, there's gonna be a lot, but let's just draw some of it. There you go. Yeah. Oh my god, that is cool. It's very disgusting, but it is cool, I think. Maybe make him like grimacing a little bit. Okay, do we want to move on to the next class? Or should we like flesh this out even more? I'm thinking of a special anti-magician sect that uses vicious weapons, specializing in tearing limbs from the magician. That is cool, yeah, like tearing limbs or like... So that's why like doing it on the head is the most painful. Like, okay, this most painful, but it is one of the most effective ways. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna make it like you have to be conscious. Otherwise it doesn't work. You have to be conscious and you have to feel the pain. I think I decided on that, yeah. That's the price you have to pay. Okay, cool. Anything else? I kind of like the idea of like them having a little briefcase for engraving tools. Kind of like that. And like it goes into like these areas here. Okay, that's probably way too much detail. I like the idea of like small details like that where they carry these around with them, and these are like invaluable. These are like priceless. So yeah, like priceless. A ribcage magician. Oh my god, yes. Oh yeah, I have to draw that. I have to draw that now. A ribcage magician. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let me try to get a symmetrical ruler here. Yep, I'm gonna do like that. And do a ribcage real quick. Okay, there we go. I'm pretty sure Monster Garden did something to do with flesh. But I'm not sure if it's bones. I'll have to check the video later on. Maybe I can get some ideas from that as well. But, all that being said, inscriptions on the bones. There we go. Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. I like that. Okay, I think we're done with this particular class. Tells us a bit about the world. And yeah, magic via speech, magic via staring, you have to be conscious. I think we're ready to move on to the next class. So we're gonna roll that up. We're gonna roll up what the next class is. Yeah, let's do it. I think I'm just going to box this up a little bit, make it a bit nicer for presentation. Okay, maybe like that. All right. Let's see here. 42. That is the metal gourmand. Somebody who eats metal. Metal gourmand. I don't know if I want that one. Let's see if there's another one. The Weatherman. Okay, the ones above it are the Weatherman and the Shadow Skulker. I kind of want to do the Weatherman. I don't know even what that is, but that sounds cool to me. Also, I notice you guys can't see the whole thing, so maybe I should adjust the... Yeah, let me just adjust this a little bit. There we go. There we go. Weatherman like on TV doesn't sound that epic. Yeah, no, I was thinking like somebody who like can, you know, not the Weatherman on TV. Metal Gourmand sounds cool though, like somebody who eats metal, like, or can, not necessarily someone who eats metal, but we can start with that. Like, maybe they have like thief powers or something. Actually, you know what I really want to do? There's like one that's 2 spaces down, and that's the one I really want to do, which is the clay progeny. Because they exist in my current campaign, clay progeny are basically children who turn into these clay-like creatures by losing their home. By losing their home, they lose part of their soul. And they turn into these like clay malleable creatures. Yeah. I think that might be a good one to do, so I'm gonna do that. This is gonna be clay progeny. I'm actually gonna label them with the number 43 clay progeny. Which one was the bone scribe? 63. Okay. There we go. Okay, clay progeny. This one I have like little idea about how I'm gonna do it in this setting, but I'm gonna start off with like how I did it in my own setting, which is like they're basically goblins, right? So I will like give them like, I think in my home setting they're like these children with like huge noses that like almost look like a sea creature kind of thing. It's kind of like the Morgborg goblin, and like the clay kind of like is crusted onto their faces, kind of like that. But it still has to be obvious that they are children. That's the thing, right? They still have to be obvious that they're children. I think an easy way of doing that is by making sure the eyes are big. Like that. And it looks kind of cute. It looks kind of cute. Not so cute anymore, but look cute for a minute there. I think I'm gonna draw the whole body out actually. Yeah, I'm gonna draw the whole body of this clay creature out, and then we'll make adjustments as necessary. Okay, just do that. Okay, so for a clay creature, I'm gonna do like that. I'm gonna make their body a bit smaller actually, so it's like kind of like that, like that. What pose should they be doing? Maybe just like a natural kind of like, yeah, just a natural pose, and then like something like this. I usually just go in and draw the thing, but nowadays I'm trying to kind of plan stuff out a bit more. So, okay, there you go. And I find that that helps for like more complicated poses. Not necessarily for this one. This one it doesn't really. I didn't really need to draw it out like that, but I did need to make sure like it kind of looked like the proportions of like a child. So like maybe like that. Okay. Okay. give him some kind of like rags or clothing. So the whole thing about them is that they're kind of like these crusted clay, malleable creatures, right? What aspect about their anatomy can we like exploit here? For example, they're like made of clay, right? So does that mean that they can transform? Or like, will it be very painful for them to transform? What happens when the clay hardens, you know? Like, do they hate the sun because it means that their skin will harden? Do they need to moisturize themselves? Etc. Stuff like that. Like, and that's stuff that like I would only think of if I'm like actually drawing it for some reason. Like when I'm drawing it, I tend to kind of think about all these details a bit more deeply. And which is why I think like this kind of stuff is good for world building. Like visual brainstorming for me seems like it works best for like world building. Rather than like when I'm making a dungeon or something, I don't think I will need to do this. Okay. So there's like, I kind of like the idea that their limbs are a lot more angular because they're kind of like just made of clay, like I said. And some parts of the anatomy don't make sense. Like why is that part dripping there? Why is this part kind of stuck there? Stuff like that. Because it's made of clay, right? They're malleable. Also, are they forever children? Do they grow? Do they grow by like, you know, like getting clay and like lumping it on themselves? Like what happens if they find actual clay? Can they add to their own like matter? Stuff like that, right? I think I'm going to get rid of the big nose. And I'm going to just do like let me see if I can get something interesting here. Let me just, yeah, I can't see the eyes there. Something where like can't really make out the face. You know that it's a human-like face, but I can't really make out what it is. And maybe there's like some parts, like I said, of the anatomy that don't make sense. Like that. Like that. I like it. Oh yeah, today will probably be a bit shorter of a stream. Because I'm kind of like running through a lot of ideas very fast, I'll probably tire myself out pretty fast. How long have we been going? Holy shit, we've already been going an hour. Okay, yeah, maybe it will be a bit longer than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was just gonna be an hour long, but we're gonna keep going a bit more. We're planning on doing like 2 of these kind of concepts out, and we've done like 1 here. Okay. Let's do like maybe a nose there. Play children. Maybe like some parts are kind of like dripping out like that. I like that. Okay, there you go. Cool. Okay, so we have this clay child. Maybe they all look slightly different. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll like draw like maybe 3 of them. Maybe they all look slightly different. And it's okay for their heads to be all lumpy and stuff. Maybe some of them like actually wear some sort of clothes. I'm gonna say like this one has like a ragged t-shirt on. Like to keep some semblance of their humanity, you know? Maybe some shorts. Looks like kind of like poor, like a very like a really like kid who's like down on his luck kind of thing. Poor guy. He looks really sad. Is the reason I say that. He looks like he's super sad. Oh no, poor dude. Ah man. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so bulking him out like some later. I don't know why I have this picture in my head that you carry big clay pots. Oh, I like that idea. Clay pots. Like they kind of have to incubate maybe in those clay pots. Actually I'm not sure. Like I like the idea of them being able to I like the idea of them having to moisturize. Like like they have to moisturize their skin. They have to so maybe the pot is full of water. Like a little or is damp or something, you know? Maybe the pot is something they took from home. I don't think I want to say that because I'm not sure whether they were aware of what they were gonna turn into when they were robbed of their home essentially. You know? I'm not sure if like they knew what they were gonna turn into. Okay. So something like that. I like the idea of the clay pots though. Let's actually do that. So I'm gonna draw a clay pot. Maybe like that. Like that, sure. Get rid of that. Maybe they just like hole up in here to sleep. This is gonna be a bit hard anatomy wise to do it. But let's say they kinda like hole up in a fetal position. Yeah. So like that. There you go. And like hold up in this fetal position and there's like water up to like this part here maybe. Or there's like it's just damp. Maybe like there's water like up to here. Like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's like kind of like a damp pot of water. And they're kind of like just crouched in the middle here. And this is like where they get back to sleep, like you said. And I like the idea of them being in a fetal position because as fucked up as it is, I mean they are still like essentially not grown up. Nice art, hey, thank you, I appreciate it. I like the idea of them, yeah, like being stuck in like these, not stuck, but rather, how do they get out actually? I guess they can pull themselves out. The opening's big enough. Welcome to the stream, Nardkill. Yeah, so I was thinking like this could be good, where like they essentially moisturize themselves inside these clay pots. And they also use it to sleep. And that's how they shower as well. It's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. That is kind of sad. I'm gonna make it even sadder and make him like gripping onto his like leg, like he's like, ah, my existence is pain. I like that. Okay, cool. So something like this. So they have to moisturize themselves. And they have these huge pots. What else can they do? So they can actually like add clay to themselves, or they can conjoin with other creatures. And what's underneath? Like are they empty? Are they hollow? Right? I would like to know like the skeletal structure of a clay creature. Like, do they have nothing inside? Like when their head is lopped off, does their soul just leave their body? Yeah, I think I like that idea. Let's do that. Let's explore this in a bit more detail. There's tears in the pot. Oh my god, that's too sad. That's too sad. Okay, let's figure out the anatomy of this thing. And I think I'm just gonna make it hollow. Like literally, it's just a hollow body. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna make it a hollow body essentially. I'm gonna draw that a bit better. Yeah, sure. Ah, he looks so sad. So they cry themselves to sleep, tears comes out, they wake up and the tears are no, that's too goofy. I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry. No, I'm not gonna do that. That's too much. That is quite funny, but no, we're not gonna do that. Let's do like the soul. Their soul has to live somewhere, right? Like they have to have a soul. Gotta have a soul. So we're gonna do like that. To cry themselves to sleep. I find that so funny, even though that's also really sad. Like, oh jeez. Okay, there we go. So their soul, I'm gonna delete this. Their soul essentially lives here, right? Like this is their soul. And if a part of them breaks loose, their soul escapes. So soul. I should just soul. And their soul can basically escape from their body. Yeah, okay, that's simple enough, I think. Oh, it can be bottled. Yeah, can be bottled and sold. So you can sell children's souls. That's kind of fucked up. But I mean, that's good. I think that kind of fits in this setting. Can be bottled and sold, and it's like a permanent light source or something. Oh, that's that is so fucked up. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna like right here requires moisture. There we go. Otherwise they break, right? Let's draw a broken clay child. Like once they break, they essentially are dead because the soul just escapes out. I feel like this is almost like a geode, like this is like a geode the geologist just like broke, and like it looks like a rock is what I'm trying to say, which I guess makes sense. They're made of clay, but let's say like that. Actually, no, that's too dark. Just patch this up. Okay, there you go. Okay, so so I'm gonna move some stuff around actually, because this one is here, and I'm gonna say that this is only when they're brittle, right? So it's like crackable when brittle. If that makes sense. Okay, grab that, move it back here. Yeah, that looks good. It's really fucked up, but I think that makes sense. Okay, requires moisture, soul can be bottled and sold. Crackable and brittle. Lumps of clay. Uncanny anatomy. Okay, there you go. So it's crackable when it's brittle, and you can bottle their souls and sell them for like 1,000 silver pieces. It can turn to porcelain when exposed to high temperatures. Yeah, like when you expose them to high temperatures, they're like turn into statues, almost. How do I even show that? Have you had your first session of the IRL campaign yet? Oh, because of like, oh, welcome to the chat, Jack. Because of like not time zone, sorry. Like scheduling issues, no. It actually should be next week. So I had some time to prepare for a bunch more of it. So it is gonna happen though, next week. We've already like put that down on all our calendars, I hope. But there's something came up essentially, and you know how it is. Welcome to the chat. We're doing some brainstorming for the iron rod stuff that we were doing quite a while back. So we're talking about bone scribe. Look at this guy. Oh my god. You gonna record the game? No. I'm not going to. That one is like a real life campaign, so I'm not gonna record it in any way, shape, or form. I might do like a recap of some of the stuff, but I haven't really done that for Lost Vestige, and that's an online game actually. So probably won't. Let's see here. Okay, crackable and brittle, soul can be bottled and sold. Lumps of clay. This is like the most sad thing that you have seen today. This is like the saddest thing I've seen or drawn today. Like that's so, oh my god. And the fact that you can bottle and sell their souls. Jeez. This concept is a bit more fucked up than the previous one, I have to say. And the previous one was really fucked up already. Like the previous one was like this, right? Alright. I think we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. How long have we been going? 1 hour and 6 minutes. Can I give them a hug? You can give them a hug, but some of their body pieces will probably like, you know, come off onto you because they're clay. Man, that sucks. Life sucks for them. Holy shit. I think we're gonna wrap this up, and then we're gonna end off for today. But it was a pretty good stream, I think. Like, at least I was coherent enough, and at least we were able to come up with some really cool ideas. I want to try to do these streams more often, and by doing them more often, I hope to be able to be a bit more productive as well. But if I'm doing them more often, that does mean that I'm gonna do like shorter sessions, like today's one. But yeah, I think we're gonna end off, because our goal was to make 2 of the creatures, at least like figure out what they're like. And we accomplish our goal. So that's good. I just want to show off some of the other sketches before I end off, because I think some people arrived in the stream later did not see, but I did some of these drawings before the stream started, and I'm probably gonna post up the 2 kind of like concept art things that we did today. I'll probably also like write it up a little bit, but this kind of like just a brainstorming exercise. Seeing if this brainstorming exercise kind of works for me on stream. And I think it actually works a lot better than using text for me. If I'm doing like world building. If I'm doing like a dungeon area or something, I wouldn't do this, but you know, like this actually for me works very well in terms of like coming up with ideas. So I want to continue that. Yo, Jonathan, thanks. Yeah, I'm just about to end stream, but like today was a successful experiment in just brainstorming using visual, just drawing, and coming up with ideas on this fly. And I think we got a bunch of cool stuff done. So I'm gonna thank everyone for coming by. Thank you, Hugo. Thank you, Caustic. Thank you, Takuya. Thank you, Nardkill. Thank you, Jack. And thank you, Jonathan. Thank you all for coming by the stream. I'm probably gonna be doing more drawing today as well. I'm trying to do it so that like every day of this week, I do at least a few perspective or environmental or more complex shots of drawing each day, and I want to do that so that I can better my skill quicker. It's basically me putting myself through a boot camp this week, I guess, in terms of art. I wanted to initially release some kind of zine this week, but I think I'm probably just gonna work on my skill sets for the moment. So yeah, again, thank you for coming out by the stream. I'll end off the stream now, and yeah, thanks for coming by. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.